So
No, but
I know.
but like but like I know.
We don't have that.
we've seen married couples.
Bro, I can tell you this, Hannah. It is like having people seen swimming
Huh.
Yeah.
and swimming yourself.
Yeah, it's
are
very-
not the same thing.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like even having a girlfriend or a
Huh.
living partner and getting married
Yeah.
are not the same thing.
Okay.
And everyone will tell you so from the word go. But it will only, the shit only gets real when it actually gets real. And on honesty, like my wife is one of
I love how this episode is starting.
He was just like,
No, but in all honesty, I think I have a fantastic partner. She like lets me be, and that she was the one who sort of pushed me and said, why don't we start this?
Yeah.
And because she knows my strength, I mean, also because she's a psychologist and she's also a dog trainer, and so she's got that background HR.
do you ever feel she's got an edge over you?
Yeah,
Because she's a psychologist.
because it almost sounds like Vikram is talking as if he's wanting to make up to his wife for something, for something he has done. Like he's going to clip out our podcast and be like, "See, this
I
is,
said everything.
I love you, baby. I love you so much."
So guys, the day you get married, you will realize there is always something that you've always done.
Yeah.
ठीक है ना?
Okay.
So
I've heard that one before.
No
Yeah.
amount of making up will ever make it up. It's a constant pursuit.
It's a constant pursuit of
It's a
makeup.
constant
Yeah.
making up.
Yeah.
And okay, let's not. So wife bashing. Wife bashing. I'm gonna get in so much trouble over this.
This is so similar to when all those motivational videos like it's just every day, man. You just keep getting better 1%
Yeah.
better.
So my dad told me this joke, right? I think I read a lot, anyways. So this joke is about one of the Santa Banda jokes was it, right? And the Santa Banda jump out of the airplane, and their Santa is a trainer, while Banta is not. So Santa says ki I will tell you to open the parachute, and only then you open the parachute.
Yeah.
And he's like, great. So they jump out of the airplane.
Yeah.
So this guy says, should I open the the parachute? He's like, no, not yet. So they hit 10,000 feet. Like they're like, can I open? No, not now. 5,000 feet. Should I do it now? बोला नहीं. 1,000 feet. बोला अब खोलूं? बोला नहीं. 500 feet नहीं. 4 feet रह जाते हैं. बोलते हैं अब खोलूं? बोलते हैं अब क्या खोलेगा? अब तो कूद जा. So it only it just it's like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, how you do, probably you should have done the joke. You would have landed.
You saved the landing by using the word landing. So it's all good.
So no matter what you do and how you do, it always is. And I think it's also social construct and how you're in relationships. But I think it's perfectly better to be a matriarchal society than to be a patriarchal society.
Okay.
I think mothers have so much more emotion
Yeah.
than our fathers do. Huh?
It's very different in terms of it's like a different flavor of that. Like, if you're looking at your skew of kombucha, like, this one's, my mom's like this, my dad's a bit, that is how it is. It has an extra tinge to it.
Absolutely.
An afterburn. Like, dad's kombucha has a bit of an afterburn to it. Mom's is still like, nourishing a bit.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Yeah.
Huh? You get used to it, ease into it. Those are like the easy flavors to sort of have and everything.
You were mentioning the alcohol part though. So first things first, when it comes to kombucha, you're selling the alcoholic stuff or the non-alcoholic stuff?
Unfortunately, India has very strict excise
Regulation.
policies, excise policies, regulations. So we've always sort of stayed away from the alcoholic stuff.
Okay.
However, in the last 5 years, I'm proud to say that I have never bought a single bottle of any soda or cola.
Okay.
Soda maybe for whiskey or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've never bought any sort of cold drink or fruit juice or whatever for my alcohol.
Okay.
It's always been kombucha, and so much so. And some of my best friends who who basically enabled us to sort of stay in Bombay. Bombay is not an easy place to live in, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we stayed because of them. And all of us now use kombuchas as our mixers.
Oh,
and I have
nice.
a bunch of friends who don't drink for whatever. And for them, it's a blessing as well because, for them now they don't have to worry about what am I going to drink, right?
Yeah.
And with so many flavors and everything, it just becomes easy.
It becomes more fun than water. Like
Absolutely.
water, Coke, whatever else you are having.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So you've been a part of Shark Tank. You've featured your product on Shark Tank as well. And you have been in the kombucha business. Well, you have multiple SKUs now, but how long did this start for you? And also, why kombucha? Of all things, what brought about it? You've been to Korea before?
Yeah. I've lived in
Yeah?
Korea actually.
You've
for
lived in
six-
Korea?
I've lived about 6 weeks in Korea.
Okay.
So I was in Merchant Navy.
Okay.
And I was taking a ship delivery. They have like a huge shipyards in Korea.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
one of the biggest shipbuilders. So I was there, and we used to have kimchi almost every day. And I never thought, like, if somebody told me, कल तू घर जाके कि आज से 5 साल बाद तू kimchi बनाएगा, I would have laughed in his face like, are you crazy? Why would I make this stuff?
Yeah,
Right? I don't even like to eat it. मैं बनाऊंगा क्यों?
Kimchi is cabbage, right? Fermented cabbage?
So,
or
yes.
not just cabbage?
No. So not just cabbage. Just cabbage is sauerkraut, which is German.
Okay.
Right? Kimchi is more flavorful. Kimchi is essentially kimchi means fermented veggies in Mandarin or old China, right?
Okay.
But stereotypically now, when you mention kimchi, it becomes a cabbage kimchi, which is not just cabbage, but cabbage, gochugaru is a red. It's very close to Kashmiri lal mirch.
Okay.
So it's a lot of color, not as hot.
Huh.
Right? That's why you see the kimchi seems very, very red and whatever. People get scared.
Yeah.
It's not as spicy. It has
Yeah.
you can have like different products with like different variations of spice and all that and so on. And then it has ginger, it has garlic, radish. All these really flavorful and sulfurous compounds are there. And you know, when you open a bottle of kimchi, well, your neighbors might also come to know that you're eating kimchi. For one,
It's like bombil in Mumbai, Maharashtra, Bombay duck.
Bombay duck, yeah. So, but is it very smelly?
No. Yeah, Bombay duck, the fish is smelly. Like it's a fishy smell. You
Fishy smell.
immediately
Okay.
get it.
Yeah.
If you're cooking bombil at home, your neighbors will know you're cooking bombil.
Oh, fair enough. So yeah, so like when you open a kimchi jar, I've had people complain and like, this is rotten. You've sent me rotten stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hang on. Did you see some white moldy stuff like fuzzy and furry stuff growing on top, like white gray or something like that? Well, no, but it's smelling so bad. I'm like, see, I don't know what you've had in your life in the name of kimchi, right? But if it doesn't smell like fart, it is not kimchi.
It's not kimchi. It has
It's not kimchi. It's as simple.
Okay.
If it does not smell like fart, it's not kimchi.
Yeah.
So you got to check who is making your kimchi, how long is it fermented for, and a whole bunch of things.
Okay.
And same goes for sauerkraut. Fermented stuff is gotta have the smell, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's
cheese,
like cheese.
smells, right?
Yeah.
Cheese smelly. Like the trick on the on the ships when you used to you want to play a prank on someone. So you have these क्या बोलते हैं headphones.
Yeah.
Right? उसमें foam होता है अंदर. There's foam inside. So they would take out the foam and stick some cheese at the back and put the foam back. Right? So initially to nothing happens.
Yeah.
Right? But then as time goes on, it starts smelling.
Oh wow.
Right? Or you put cheese in somebody's shoes. Right? And you leave it like when they finish work. So you like finish work, change, right? These are those work shoes. And you put some cheese in whatever and then you go. Or you put it under the sole. Like you take out the insole, put the cheese and put it back.
Damn, dude.
And then you're like, just leave it there. Next morning somebody comes, now you start walking, it gets
Oh wow.
pounding, and then it starts smelling and you can't figure out what is smelling.
Oh gosh.
How the hell are you supposed to know that somebody kept something or behind this? And I haven't done this ever, in all fairness. But
It's too late, Vikram. Vikram, the way you said it with so much passion.
I'm a very good boy. I'm the guy who gets up at 5 o'clock because
This was
they have a
as
6 o'clock.
detailed as fermentation.
Because you gotta know, right? You gotta know. So if something like if you know something smelling fishy or cheesy or whatever, you know where to check at least.
Yeah.
And these are stories. What do you think sailors talk about?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, this is it.
We can talk endlessly. I'm guessing not everyone's the same, but like that's what we do. Coffee breaks. There's nowhere to go, bro.
Yeah.
Like where the hell are you gonna swim out to or whatever, right? There's nothing. It's only those 10, 15, 20 souls, you know. On the ship.
That's just that many people.
Yeah, mostly men, right? So
Mostly men. Mostly men.
It boils down to that sort of humor where you're playing such pranks on each other, and it boils down to that. Like men become boys very quickly if they are left to their own devices.
Calendars. The whole control room, like where we sort of sit and all the computer systems are there. You know, everything is very automated these days. Calendars are all these
Pin-up girls.
Pin-up girls and whatever and whatnot.
I like how you are trying to reduce it by saying calendars. And then
no calendars, like really calendars.
No,
Like
calendars
we
with
get calendars on the ship, and like all of them are like this. What's the M magazine, right? There's a magazine called M, and then there's Maxim, and there's like a bunch of other magazines. And whenever we get calendars at the end of the year, they always have these really good-looking, pretty women on
you're alone on a ship in the middle of the ocean. with containers to give you company. Okay.
No, it's okay. Anyways, now it's not as bad with the
Yeah.
internet and everything, and people have
of
so
course.
much content on their laptops. Like I mean, I used to carry a 1 terabyte hard drive 10 years ago because with the latest movies and all the
Yeah.
seasons downloaded and whatever.
Okay.
Who the hell cares about piracy when your privacy is at stake?
Yeah, you're on international waters,
Yeah.
right?
Also, you are the neighbor of a pirate, legit, on a ship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that ways, and it's always like that when men are talking, and always same things boil down. Somebody once mentioned one of my Danish seniors. He was a chief engineer at that time, and I heard him tell somebody, or I got to know eventually that we didn't talk a lot.
Okay.
We stood on the same table, but never talked a lot. And he was like, so he told the other guys, like, we don't have a lot to talk about. The Indians have a very different way of life. How will they understand our problems? And I'm like, bro, your girlfriend does same shit that my girlfriend does. Your parents have same problems with me, pretty much. Give or take, that my parents have. Yes, you get more freedom, and so there is absolutely no difference really, right? Cultural differences हैं, वो रहेंगे, पर problems तो हैं.
It's
So
very
we can still
similar.
talk about our problems and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Wives will remain wives. You will realize very soon, hopefully.
The way you're selling it, it seems like I should be clarifying. Like, I don't know what do you want your conversation with your wife to be like? Because you started off very strong, buddy, and now you're just putting yourself in a corner. Okay.
No, I think the same things. There are same things across the globe, no matter where you go.
Yeah.
Shared experiences
Shared
exist.
experiences. You can always talk about something. So it's never like that. So ship being like that. And honestly, on the ship, I have been to 52 countries before I sort of quit sailing. Now you can say, right? Somebody today asked me if I should be an ex-marine engineer. I said, a marine engineer or any engineer for that matter will always be an engineer.
Yeah.
How can be an ex-engineer? मतलब मैं भूल जाऊँगा क्या कल की पेज कैसे कसते हैं या फिर इंजन कैसे खुलता है या what happens?
Yeah.
Right, that ways. I never had a kombucha.
Okay.
I never had kimchi in Korea, right? I did not do all. I mean, I tried kimchi a couple of times, but I was like, क्या है अचार ही तो है. हम लोग अचार खाते हैं, kimchi खाते हैं, वो भी कच्चा खाते हैं. Like, what's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
So and I never did it. And once you sort of delve into that sort of area where you're fermenting stuff or whatever, and you sort of learn the basic science behind it or whatever, it's quite exciting. It's quite fun.
Yeah.
And so to bring us back to the point where we started, the only reason we started is because my wife was not drinking, and I had to sort of make sure that she drinks something so I don't feel guilty at the end of the conversation.
Okay.
कि यार she didn't get to drink anything, क्या पानी कब तक पिएगा यार?
Yeah.
Correct.
है ना? कितना orange juice पिएगा?
Yeah. Need
And I
something.
can bet that if you get a beer and an orange juice, you'll always finish the orange juice faster. You can't like sip. It's like sweet and whatever. It has never worked.
Yeah.
I worked in a company which has zero alcohol policy, Maersk,
Okay.
right? I used to go out and have orange juice, when I started. Yeah, orange juice is more expensive or similar to beer.
Yeah.
And I have to drink double the number of orange juices if I don't want to drink beer.
Yeah.
Turns out to be quite an expensive affair, especially if you're a cadet.
Yeah.
I make measly $200-$250 a month. So that's not a
can't.
sustainable lifestyle at all.
Yeah.
So you got to figure out your options,
Yeah.
right? Water is more expensive if you go to any bar in, I was in Germany, we used to football World Cup going on, me being a good boy like I mentioned earlier, I would not have like beer. Water was more expensive than beer. I'm like, what the hell is this?
They charge
This
for
doesn't
water in a bar?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I think €1.60 was the beer,
Okay.
right? And €1.80 was the some
Water.
300 ml, bottle
A
or
glass of water.
Glass nahi, matlab bottle. They give you
Yeah,
bottled
yes,
water,
yeah.
right? Bottled water.
Okay.
But so expensive. India mein, when you're here, you have never got to imagine कि पानी महंगा होगा beyond a point, other than any other beverage. अगर पानी इतने का होगा तो anything else would be more expensive.
Yeah.
But that's not how it is. And anyway, so I never ended up having any kombucha. Sailors, either they end up in, bars or, all these other fancy places or malls, right? Or supermarkets.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're on the ship, so you want to get all these chips and whatever, snacking time, evening, there's nothing to go do, right? So, but I never saw any kombucha on the shelf. And I'm so surprised, right? I never had sourdough and everything, and I used to go there, but that was never the agenda, I think. I'd be it's like if I tell you that, have you realized Bombay has so many white cars?
Yeah.
And today I promise you, when you walk out, you will only see white cars.
Yeah.
Like Vikram was right. There are so many white cars. There are too many white cars, in fact.
Yeah. There's too many cars in
Yeah.
general.
Too many cars in
whichever
general.
color.
Traffic,
So, you've ever noticed how when it comes to food, our choices, our habits with food, they're like a lot of other things, they're very cyclical in nature, or rather like a pendulum. So, I remember when I was young, you said not a lot of outside food. And then as I grew up, I noticed like people changed their way towards like processed food became a part of acceptance, like cheese, processed cheese came into the picture. Then you have other things which went through a huge amount of steps to become the final product and then get to you.
Absolutely.
And in the last couple of years, you've seen that this discussion is changing now, where you're looking holistic health, you're looking at my body is my temple, from there to, hey man, I'm just not having shits, all right? Like my stomach is completely screwed. I'm eating outside food. It's all done for. And this opens up a huge different category in the market, right? When people, the consumers, your customers are rejecting what already exists on the shelves, or they start you see a reducing sort of flow in terms of how people are consuming your products that much. You notice that choices are changing. People want to make their choice dependent upon other things also, rather than just packaging or advertisement being thrown at you on every channel. What as a small entrepreneur, because hey man, let's be like very fair, like there's massive brands outside and you have huge
100%.
You have like at your scale, pre Shark Tank and post Shark Tank, what has your discussion been like in regards to the product compared to the people's choices? How is it changing? Is it changing? And how much of education do you think needs to go into this? Because I have no idea about what kefir is. Or no, kombucha I do. Kimchi I do, but that's also because of K-pop and a lot of other things. Like
I would have guessed.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just that, not like in detail. Yeah. So what sort of discussions have you guys had around that? Or as a person who's running this brand, who's into fermented foods quite a lot, what do you see happening in the Indian marketplace at this point of time?
So things like kombucha.
Yeah.
Kombucha is, I think now far more easy to explain to people because everyone's talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Kimchi, kombucha,
Yeah.
right? So kimchi and kombucha both, because of K-pop or because of other reasons. Also Chinese restaurants, although they never serve you proper kimchi or authentic kimchi or any kimchi for that matter, it's usually cabbage salad that they serve you with vinegar. But however, so before Shark Tank, we were working.
Yeah.
After Shark Tank, we're still working. Before Shark Tank really did not make a difference in what we were trying to do in terms of the product.
Got it.
What we realized after Shark Tank was, one of the things that Shark said was, pre or po बहुत कुछ होता है यार, मतलब what you see on the screen and what happened and what happened before everything happened. There are 3 layers to it. You only see the final product, what is being edited and showed to you, right? You don't see what's happening. So when we told them that we have all these products, they were really happy because they said it's good because the category is really small. Kombucha category in itself, if you talk about, it's a very small category. If you have more products, basically you're able to cater to more audience. Somebody who does not like a kombucha will like a ginger ale, and that is precisely the reason we make ginger ale. Like my dad is a diabetic, so if say he drinks and eats everything, but say if he did not, right? A lot of people who are diabetic, they come to us, and if they can't have like say anything else, then I need to have an option for them. So we make beet kwas, which is 0 sugar, which is very similar to kanji that is done in the north, right? Some basic differences, but otherwise it's pretty much the taste is the same. The ingredients are quite similar and all of that. Or for example, water kefir, like you mentioned, right? Now we only realize that I had to bear the loss of it and a very continuous loss of business because of what happened. But it was a great learning that sort of came by later, that it is good to have all these products, right? I am more than happy to sort of because we also consume all this and we understand the I talk to my customers, I educate them, I ask them what is your requirement, why do you want to drink kombucha, why have you not explored kefir or kvass or other things, and they're like, no, but I don't know what these are, and that's one question. But they're like, nahi, mujhe kisi ne bola hai kombucha hi piyo. So okay, nutritionist has told you, fine. But do you want to check with them if drinking a kefir maybe works for you better, or maybe a kvass works for you better? Again, the thing is, I don't know how many nutritionists, like I know a lot of them know about it, but do they really know their product? Or they only know that it's good for gut health? You know, have they experimented long enough with the product to suggest it to someone a lot of times? And I don't know all this, and I'm not going to blame them, but I take that responsibility upon myself, and I try and educate my customer. At least that one guy who comes to me and says, "Ki yaar, mere ko ye problem hai. Do you have a solution for this?" Right? So then I can help them out. So we teach them more and more. So what had actually happened with the restaurant was, it's a very popular outlet, and they had kombucha in the menu. They also had kefir in the menu and beet kvass in the menu.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how we really screwed it up there, and everything was mentioned under kombucha.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like you have a pasta and you have noodles, or you have noodles, say Hakka noodles, and you put them under pasta.
Yeah, it's a weird mix-up of...
Right? Or if it's like Italian menu and you have pasta and you know, somebody who does not know and orders a pizza, and you give them pasta, or they order a pasta, you give them a lasagna. And they're like, yaar, ye to mere ko waisa hai. This is not what I have eaten before, or this is not what I expect.
That's how different it is?
Yeah,
Kombucha
absolutely.
to kefir to, yeah?
100%. Like, see, ingredients be different hai, and flavor be different hai.
Okay.
And if it's okay, we can actually get a couple of bottles out if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Sure.
Where are the bottles at?
Yeah, in the ice box
cooler?
right there. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wonderful.
So yeah, absolutely. So so then you realize that then we realize, I'm like, they're like, this is not selling, and people are complaining that this is not good and whatever. And I'm like, really? Because I get orders from you like every week. So if it's not selling, but this flavor and that flavor, I'm like, that's surprising. Okay, so we'll stop these flavors. Bola, nahi, we can't this, do and that and whatever. And something happened, and then we stopped selling altogether.
Okay.
I was really, because it happened on like the first of month, all of a sudden. We had just delivered an order 4 days ago. So I went to them and like, what happened? So I talked to the manager, and he told me, no sir, everything is fine. Only these 2 products don't move. I'm like, but these are not even kombucha.
Yeah.
So I'm like, can you send me a picture of your menu?
Menu card.
He sent me a menu ka picture. I'm like, I told when we were onboarding that these are not the same product. Bola, haan sir, but like, we did not know. And kefir is another very different product. It tastes like soda, flavored soda.
Okay.
Right?
Where does it come from? Like, can we have a look? We have
So
What should we try first?
this is one of our highest selling kombuchas. This is a ginger and honey kombucha. And this is a jamun. This is like in general.
Oh,
Should I pop it open for you?
Yeah,
Be careful. I mean, it can be a little fizzy sometimes, a little too fizzy at times. That's why I carry an ice box.
Oh, it just helps to do that.
Yeah. So if you open the cap and put it back.
I think, got it.
Dhyan se khulla, huh?
Yeah, all good.
Perfect.
Drink is fizzy, open cap slowly. Okay, I read it now.
You read it after you opened it. And that's what most people do, and then they complain that the kombucha is spilled and whatever.
So you have carbonation because of fermentation. It's not like it's added carbonation.
No. So one of the things that I'm really proud of as a small company, and whenever we grow big as well, that is something that I would really want is keep the product honest. I was in Merchant Navy. I did not need to do this to make money.
Yeah, I mean,
although I'm not making any, to be honest. Business mein, for the whatever we earn, it goes back. Something always goes back. You keep growing. So it's a profitable business otherwise. But what I mean to say is that if I can't be honest to a product like this, then I just take a big swig so that the bottle has some space to work with. Take a couple of sips. If you've not tried kombucha, the trick is to have one sip, clear your palate like you would do for a wine tasting, and then take a second swig.
Okay.
Is it too sour for you?
I like this one, the jamun one.
So so kombucha can be a little sour. Think of it like a very, very fresh wine. So it's not really khatta, but it's not really sweet as well, like for most people. And Indians have a really sweet palate.
Yeah, we do, of course.
Yeah.
Look at that face. That face is like, you got to know this like at a very...
I have learned this every day for the last 5 years that matlab it's like, this is my favorite saying when it comes to like, I don't know if it shows frustration or if it shows like just the observation. Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So everybody wants a low sugar, very healthy beverage, but they want it really sweet.
Yeah.
You know, they can't have it like, oh, without sugar. This is without sugar. Kombucha is without sugar. I'm like, no, there's always kombucha. Oh, but I'm looking for, yeah, but this is too sour. I'm like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have कि मुझे चीनी भी मत डालो और मीठा भी नहीं होना चाहिए. How does it even work? Fortunately, our feedback has always been that, you know, the drinks are very well balanced. They're not too sour. You know, after a couple of swigs, you will not notice that. Like, you can slip it, you can sip it slowly, and enjoy like a beverage. Unlike orange juice, like we talked about.
Yeah. Orange juice doesn't have that layers of taste in it.
Yeah.
It's just one taste.
And I think
It's pretty cool, dude.
And so that's kombucha, right? This is ginger ale.
Yeah, one of our producers used to make his own kombucha also.
Wow.
Oh, this is ginger ale, hibiscus. Oh, nice.
This is one of our most popular ginger ales. Okay. I know the only reason we made ginger ale was because a lot of people found kombucha to be too sour.
Okay.
And then we thought ginger ale is not as sour, but also not very sugary comparatively. So it really worked for us. And ginger, if you must know, is the most popular flavor in beverages on the whole globe.
Okay.
I think Asia, right? Asia as a continent does ginger like
Yes,
massively.
but also Europe and also America.
Okay.
Because ginger ales are root beers, ginger root beer, ginger goes in everything.
Okay.
If you look up any medicine, any remedy, house remedy, or home remedies and whatever, you will find mention of ginger across the globe in all cultures, right? Korea mein hai, मतलब वो तो Asian तो we definitely know, right? Europe has a lot of this, right? And it's also because it's a spice, but it's also an ingredient, right?
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing in itself, right? You could and because of the healing properties, even when people have cold, they're like, ginger honey तो मैं पी सकता हूँ.
Yeah.
Honey भी और ginger भी है.
अदरक
Cold
वाली
भी है. Cold भी है.
Dude,
but
this,
they still feel.
This has that taste of ginger lemon that, you have that, but it's got no sugar.
It's got very little sugar.
Very little
It's got
sugar,
anywhere between 2 and 4 grams is what usually 100 ml, which is not bad at all.
That's not
compared
bad,
to a fruit juice, which is about 10 to 15 grams per 100 ml. It's about 1/5 maybe, or
that's just
1/4,
spoons of sugar.
Especially those brands which are like big Tetra Pak package, like they have a lot of sugar in them.
Sugar.
And people never check they think they're drinking juice and it's healthy.
Yeah, it
but
looks so healthy on the package.
And I will tell you one more thing. What happens is, so there are different kinds of sugars, right? So there is like, so there's jaggery, then there is khand sugar, or what we call it, cottage sugar is what we call it. Then we've got brown sugar, crystallized white sugar, confectioner sugar. There are a bunch of these sugars, right? Yes, after a certain point, it's just the form that you're selling it in, right? But like jaggery is more popular because it has also these small trace amounts of minerals. Honestly, if you're really watching out for the calories and the carbohydrates and whatever, jaggery does no better.
Yeah.
Right? Jaggery does no better. It has pretty much the same amount of calories as sugar has. Right?
It's just easier to process.
Yeah, so people say that it does not spike your insulin as much, but honestly, I don't want to I haven't experimented with it. I don't know if that really sort of how true that is. But yes, in general, if I had to have a sweetener, I would rather have jaggery than sugar. That's for sure. Right? That's one. Also, when you're making sugar there is invert sugar, right? There's something called invert sugar. If you ever read a label, or especially these medicines, you will see that invert sugar. Invert sugar does not ferment.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a sugar that is not going to ferment. Now, if it's not going to ferment, it's going to maintain the sweetness.
It won't break down into alcohol.
It will not break down into anything, and it will maintain that sweetness, right? Anything. But also, it will affect the body in a different way.
Correct.
Because if your body is not able to process it, right? How it's going to...
What's going to happen to it is you're going to go to the doctor and you're going to
At some point. At some point, right?
Yeah.
So exactly that's what happens. And so again, coming back to what we were talking about education before we sort of got into the podcast mode and everything. And also when you asked Shark Tank, we understood that education is the important thing. That is what we need to sort of focus on, educating. Also, when we sort of give product to, say, a retail store, earlier we used to try and give more variations. Say also keep a beet kvass, also keep a kefir, because we wanted people to sort of see the product and try it. But then we realized that's not how it is. People are actually, because they're not educated enough about the product, they end up they see a kefir lying next to a kombucha. They think ki, oh, must be also a kefir lime kombucha.
It's the same experience they're expecting.
Kefir lime, is that right? So they think kefir lime ka kombucha hai, isliye usko kefir bola hai. They don't know what kefir is.
Oh, okay.
So kafir, K-A-F-F-I-R, kafir lime, and K-E-F-I-R. So kafir is a lemon or whatever, and kefir, K-E-F-I-R, is a beverage. It could be made with milk or water.
Okay.
Either ways. They do different but similar, but different. Right? So that happens. So we started telling people, just focus on what people know to begin with. Say kombucha. Only if somebody has a particular need of saying ki nahi yaar, I don't want a kombucha because it has sugar or whatever, then we offer them ki, hey, this is a beet kvass and this is kefir, and you can have either. Both are beet kvass is 0 sugar. Kefir has less than half a gram of sugar per 100 ml. And if you leave them outside a little longer, they'll get fizzy and drier and whatever. That works with all fermented food, right? But I tell them and I give them a heads up about all of that, because it's not about just selling to a person. It's also an experience. They will always remember this. अगर वो जिंदगी में एक ही बारी kombucha पीने वाले हैं, and if it's going to be our kombucha, I want it to be a fond memory, right? Something that encourages them to sort of pick up a kombucha next time around. They go into a supermarket or somewhere, right? I have friends who move to Canada and they'd never heard of kombucha, otherwise, but they knew it because of me. And they drank every time we had a party, or they would order some or whatever. And then they go there, every time we see a kombucha, it makes us think of you. And we've actually started buying kombucha now.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't think we would ever have bought kombucha. So, that sort of thing, when you hear, and you feel, like a disruptor. You've changed the world in one way, right? Because butterfly effect. Right? So, ये तो है ही. तो मतलब that is something. So, education has become the very focal point of our everything. Whether it's Instagram, whether it's whether it's a flea market, whether it's a farmer's market, whether it's this thing. The very reason that I bought kombucha is, well, one, I'm not sure if all of us had tried kombucha, but also to make sure that, whatever kombucha you've tried, now you try this. And then you sort of figure कि जो मैंने पहले पिया था वो अच्छा था, खराब था, वो मीठा था, नहीं था. You can ask me a question about this. I always encourage people to sort of ask us questions and ask what is it. And I don't mind. I've spent hours talking to people and they've ordered like one bottle. But it's okay. At least there is no misinformation out there. At least from our end. So that is what we focus on. Educate people, tell people, give them what they need. Not give them what they might require actually. Not just sell them a product.
You
so many brands are there. So many brands are there now. So many brands are there which are selling kombucha. But why? Okay, let's ask you guys. Why would you drink kombucha?
As far as I remember, from what I've heard, health reasons. Feel a bit better in morning.
Absolutely. And what about you?
If it's like a drink that does not make me more unhealthy, I'll
exactly,
go for
right?
it.
So kombucha is supposed to be a probiotic. It has all this live culture and everything. So if I remove all the live culture from it, would you still consider kombucha that healthy? I mean, very logical.
It's just
logical,
flavored
right?
water.
Flavored iced tea or whatever, right? That's what people are doing now because they also have a challenge. So shelf life is a big challenge. Like Shark Tank, they were like, oh, shelf life come hai. And we all of us have burnt hands in FMCG, especially in beverage market. It's a true thing. But हम दूध पीते हैं कि नहीं पीते हैं? एक दिन दूध को अगर सुबह का दोपहर हो जाता है, if it's afternoon and if you haven't boiled the milk or haven't refrigerated it, it's going to go bad. Do we stop drinking it? It's just become the cultural thing. So yes, it will take some time. But Rome wasn't built in a day. How can I compete with something that has been consumed for thousands and thousands of years? It's going to take some time. And I don't need to sell it to each and every person from a toddler, 6 months old to a 70-year-old. I just need to find my own audience. People who believe that, today I'm going to be driving, and I can't drink. So what's my go-to thing? I can buy like maybe kombucha, right? Or I'm going to a friend's house and I don't know what wine to take. Instead of them thinking of me as a cheapster if I don't take a good enough wine, or if I take a very good wine and even then they don't like it because, wine is a very personal taste again, right? मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है. But from all the English movies that we've seen,
Suna to hai.
Yeah.
Suna
Dekha
to
to
hai,
hai.
all English movies we see are common. What
Yeah.
culture has been shaped with, the star movies from that time on. So why not take a 6-pack of kombucha or ginger ale or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, and use it as a mixer. Have it as just as is. Have it as a mocktail. Do whatever the hell you want to do with it. There's no written rules. It's not medicine. There are no rules for it.
Dude, I would love to use this as a mixer with some gin.
Lemon, mint, and basil.
Yeah,
My recommendation.
lemon, mint,
Always
and basil.
works.
The hibiscus wala will also go very well with a good, like, if you're making a white spirit cocktail, it will go
Absolutely.
very well with it.
Yeah.
That's
all
pretty
white
cool.
spirit, even rum for that matter. Gins anyways do good. Vodka, vodka, ginger, something could also work really well. Proportions and everything.
This can make for a really good mixer for, actually, when you think about it. So, when it comes to making your presence known in the market, apart from the fact that you can use my product for a variety of reasons, especially, like, I'm looking at it from like an Indian customer's perspective, my own perspective, is that whenever I'm trying to deviate from a habitual product line where, okay, I'm buying, say, this particular brand of bread for the longest amount of time, Vibs, why the fuck did I go to multigrain? And then I like, okay, there are a couple of things why I went to multigrain for. Firstly, healthy. Second is price difference is palatable. In the sense ki, okay, 20, 25 bada packet, this is going up to 40. Yeah, I know, but the value is there.
Right.
So when you start increasing that money gap between 25 to 40 and say 25 to 60, now I'm hesitant. Like, hey, 60, man, I can get 2 packets of bread in this. Like,
Right.
So that starts happening. As a business guy with, kombucha ka bottle, how much is a bottle usually for?
180.
No, the 300 ml?
180.
180.
Yeah.
300 ml, na?
Yeah.
So what sort of discussions and what has been your experience with that? That price and how to come up with a pricing thing, because as comics we have fucking no idea. Like, I've seen MRP on everything and I have tried to factor in how do they come up with this MRP. Okay, they are looking at labor cost, ingredients, whatnot, all of that math goes into it, but then how do you ensure that other people are on board with that?
Okay, so when you start something new, like when we started 5 years ago, the first market was 31st March 2018, and that time we just went in because there was only one other kombucha brand that we knew of, right?
Okay.
And we being a student of maths, I just did the whole कि ये 500 ml का इतने का है तो 300 ml इतना होना चाहिए, तो हम थोड़ा सा सस्ता बेचते हैं because we could sell more probably, तो रख के and हम लोग के पास तो खर्चा कम है, तो that's how we sort of came up with a price, and that's how we started selling it in the market, and we had no idea. I'm accidental entrepreneur.
Okay.
ऐसा this is my favorite thing to say.
Title.
ऐसा उड़ता हुआ तीर जाता है ना, है ना? That's exactly what happened, I think. We had no clue, but it's a great journey to be on. So at that point we said, okay, ये लोग इतने का बेचते हैं, हम similar market में हैं, हम लोग कितने का बेच सकते हैं for a proportionate volume. अगर वो 500 ml है, हम 300 ml है, तो वो कैसे बेचने का है. तो we started doing that. Then and then we said, okay, we were selling, and then a friend of ours, उसका कोई एक he's from IIM Ahmedabad, he's from IIM Indore, and he's a very good friend one of my best friends. That is why I live in Belapur and not in Andheri or anywhere else, because that fucker lives there, so I end up being there anyways. So then his friend came along and he was working with some really fancy some marketing company, and he was a marketing thing for them, right? He was an MBA, and he told me, Vikram, you can't reduce the pricing, can't increase the pricing whenever you want. You will lose customers. So you got to figure out a pricing where you are comfortable and your customer is also comfortable, and give them at a cheaper price. If today you feel that your pricing is not there and you can afford to sell it cheaper, sell it cheaper. Tomorrow when the demand goes up, then it won't ever be कि अच्छा price बढ़ा दिया. Price तो हमेशा से ही वो था, आपको हम सस्ते में दे रहे थे. Say an introductory offer, buy one get one, right? Something like that. So we said, okay, that makes sense. So that helped the pricing a little bit. Okay. And after like a year or so, then my dad was here, and then he's worked in the pharma business all his life.
Okay.
And he's worked in all sections: marketing, sales, this, that, office, factory. He's been everywhere.
Okay.
his company was pretty much a startup. He keeps telling me, Vikram, when I joined the company, they were exactly in your position. Order आता कुछ था, जाता कुछ था, कभी कुछ होता था, कभी कुछ होता था. We did not know, पैसे नहीं आते थे. We had no follow-up systems and everything. And that's like 1 year ago, right? And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't believe him. I think he's just like, there's only so much truth to it. But anyways, it helped us understand that, you know, everyone goes through a same journey and you don't have to get disheartened with it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with your dad. Like, I get what you're trying to say, but it is very true. Like, you started something different.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy, and the start part will be very difficult till you stand on your legs.
We were not looking for easy.
Yeah.
If I was looking for easy, bro, I was sailing for 6 months and I was chilling for 6 months.
Yeah,
I used to
that's
go-
also a very movie line, huh? Like, we were not looking for easy.
We were not looking for easy. I mean, we were definitely not looking for this hard.
Yeah. That's the balancing part.
Honestly, we did not know it's going to mean this much, right?
Yeah.
And my wife is like, now that I think, you were better off when you were on the ship. I said, yeah, but I was away 6 months. You don't you consider that? Like, that's like half of my life like being, yeah, but like when you came home, you really lived.
Yeah.
Like there was no stress. You were like this person who could just walk into a room and like and then you blink and then the whole room is like transformed and you're all over and everything. And now that you're always on your phone, you're doing like Instagram or and orders and this and that. And sometimes I don't know, like you've changed like as a person. I'm like, I haven't changed, but this is the demand of this time. And she understands this and whatever. And I think again, as a partner, that the space that I got. We bent. I have cried over this, man. Every time I talk about this, it like sort of really, my tears are like, I'm choking up every time. When we started the business, we had a small, we still have it. We have an i10, my wife's car. When we moved here, we used to do markets. So Belapur, if at all, Google it or Google Maps it, whatever. From there to Cuff Parade, every Sunday, she used to drop me in Chembur. I used to do a market there. She used to drive to Cuff Parade, do a market there, pick me up, and we used to start at about 7 in the morning because then travel all the way, set it up, market khatam hua, wrap it up, pick me up. Not had anything the whole day because mornings were always rushing. And me being a boy, shirt, pant, brush, this, that, and ready. She used to go into the market. She used to take her time to get ready and everything. And all of that happened. And we used to do it every weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Oh.
So one day we used to go to Chembur and then, Cuff Parade. And then we used to go to Powai on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
And then we would do other markets and other events. There are times I've done 4 different markets on one weekend, So we've really bent backwards and I've put in the hard work, blood, sweat, everything.
Yeah.
So, it doesn't surprise me that we've come so far.
Yeah.
What amazes me is that we've reached so far.
Yeah.
Even after seeing that there are giants in the market who could like just walk in and say, today I'm going to start making kombucha and I have a 10 crore budget just for Bombay. And from tomorrow, everyone will get a free bottle of kombucha tomorrow morning. Right?
Yeah, just standing outside the market and giving it.
ले तू दूध वाले के साथ भेज दिया भैया जहाँ दूध जाता है वहाँ kombucha भी जाएगा. And we are staying here and we survived COVID, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that like?
COVID, I had 0 staff. I had only one in-house person. So we had a separate sort of small unit. And there's one person that was. Then COVID happened all of a sudden. So it was me, my wife, my dog. And then there was one guy living. He can't go home.
Yeah.
We can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
No delivery boys. Luckily, my organic vegetable supplier was still functioning. Okay. Right? So I would get my deliveries on time.
Yeah.
I had to I have begged the delivery boys, भैया please आ जाओ ना, जो भी है, कैसे भी उसको मना, पानी पिला के, चाय पिला के, one way or the other, बस delivery हो जाए.
Yeah.
And then but we still continued. So we went back to basics. So from where I used to me and my wife used to make everything at home, like from chopping fruit to boiling the water and doing everything.
Yeah.
We had a small team, but the team was not there. So we went back to basics. So, me and the other guy, we would make everything ourselves and then we would do it. Then we would bottle it up. One day when the bottling happens, then I would go and I would help him. He would put the labels and everything. Then I would make the bills and everything, we would pack everything and then we would do it. So 2 of us, so 6 people, what we were doing, and I had to go back to it. Plus revenues were not as great at that time.
Yeah.
People were really scared of ordering because even though, I wouldn't like spray some pesticides, whatever on my product. Sanitize it.
Yeah.
But there is some whatever sanitization. But yeah, that sanitization from there to the delivery person to there and then, people were really skeptic.
Yeah.
So that definitely played a huge role, and people are like, hey, I have like old parents at home, so I'm really, can you make sure that, this is all sanitized? So I sat down and sprayed everything with a sanitizer and, wiped the bottles off, because that's how it was.
Yeah.
But persistence and perseverance,
Yeah.
that's the,
Just wondering, since you said about experimentation, so our previous conversations have been with like people who make gin and whatnot. So what is like, in terms of gin, what they were doing was like the Greater Than guys, they were just distilling everything that was there in the kitchen. Is there something similar that you do, like to look for this new flavor?
our first, I think 5-6 flavors came like that. Like me and my wife are talking, like kombucha is like, people are selling really fancy flavors.
Yeah.
People don't understand kombucha, and if you give them like some whatever flavor, how will we ever sell, right? So let's come up with flavors which are very easy to understand. The first flavor we did, so plain kombucha without flavor, right? That was easy because we wanted people to try the original stuff, how it tastes like, and we don't sell it now anymore, really these days. Then we did watermelon, because it was summertime, peak of summer, March 31st.
Okay.
So we did watermelon, and then we did ginger honey.
Okay.
So ginger honey,
very accessible. Something
exactly.
that you can.
Something that you can relate to very quickly, right?
You have some history with that flavor.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, beet kwas I think I have it in the other box. Beet kwas is like kanji, and if every time I go to a farmer's market or a flea market and somebody says, ki, "Arey, this tastes exactly like that my nani used to make in like, Punjab or Delhi or whatever," and I'm like, kanji.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I played cool, like,
Yeah.
kanji, right?
I knew this would
I
be
know
a
this was,
reaction.
They're like, yeah, this is exactly what it is, and and they like, and this uncle came to the stall like couple of weekends ago, and he's like, नहीं ये अच्छा नहीं है, मैं ये सब fancy चीजें नहीं पीता. मैंने बोला, आपको मैं वो पिलाता हूँ जो आपको शायद अच्छा लगे, आपने कभी पिया होगा. And then they loved it. They had like a whole bunch of gut issues and whatever and whatnot, life issues, कुछ problems थे. They loved it. I said, ये तो मैं ले सकता हूँ. I like it. इसमें sugar भी नहीं है, तो मेरा problem भी solve. And it is not bad. मैं थोड़ा पी लूँगा. I can't drink the whole bottle, तो मैं थोड़ा पी लूँगा. But I will have it because I really liked it so much. That's exactly what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, different experience that you've given somebody. Yeah.
Word of mouth. You can find a lot of brands which grow overnight to say, overnight मतलब कि 6 महीने में, साल भर में 1 लाख फॉलोअर, 2 लाख फॉलोअर, 50,000 फॉलोअर. Guys, we are all on Instagram.
Yeah.
Nobody goes that fast unless you're really pretty, है ना? Or
you should try, Vikram. Shave that beard off, buddy.
No,
you should come up
smart,
with an ad.
smart, good looking, yes, pretty. No, but yeah, that's true, right? Like you won't grow overnight.
Yeah.
So we don't believe in bots, and we don't believe in paying for extraordinary, stupid marketing, fooling people with saying इसमें तो sugar नहीं होता. I've lost business. I've lost business with Suzette. I'll tell you honestly. I lost business with them because my kombucha did not say that it contains no sugar, no whatever. Because contains what it contains, लिखा हुआ है, पढ़ लो. But whatever they were selling, it said no added sugar. I had so they said कि सर इस पे लिखा है no added sugar, आप में sugar है. मैंने बोला मैंने तो लिखा ही नहीं है कि इसमें added sugar है, मैंने तो लिखा है कि इसमें ये है, sugar तो उसमें भी लिखा है, लेकिन उसमें लिखा है no added sugar. तो मैंने बोला बट आप लॉजिक समझ रहे हो कि I am not saying anything. And my bottle says that there is sugar in the bottle. This bottle says no added sugar, but has sugar on the label in the nutritional facts. Who do you think is better?
Telling,
or not lying? Yeah, but sir, our manager does not understand this or whatever. Somebody in the team does not.
Okay.
I'm like, what is there to understand?
There's nothing.
You only need to understand English. And that's it. Yeah, your product is really nice and this and that. And it didn't work out. And I'm like, and I beat myself up like that day. I was really irritated. I'm like, why? It's like bad umpiring decision. Like Tendulkar getting hit on the shoulder and giving shoulder behind, shoulder in front of wickets, right? Shoulder before wicket. Like, what the hell is this? How does this work? But I'm like, theek hai yaar. You lose some, you win some.
It's a very interesting capitalistic endeavor that they have in terms of packaging. It's very sneaky. It's very sneaky. Whenever you look at any packaging, first of all, they try to vomit a huge amount of info on that tiny bit of air. And then for you to understand how they're playing with you, you just need to pay attention to the font.
True.
Just need to pay attention to the fonts, because no added sugar is always written in very clear fonts, and it's given a space, real estate in between where it will be seen. Because as a customer, they are depending upon you making dumb life choices and not reading what is going in your body.
No,
So they are like, oh yeah, no added sugar. Oh, perfect.
Perfect.
There's also the picture of everything healthy, on the front.
Oh yeah, in the
Oh yeah.
Like that's
you know
it.
what you should
And
do?
that's 1,000 words.
Wait, let's fix the brand. Let's make it go viral, dude. Let's go ahead and look at. Okay, so I'll tell you what you need to do, Vikram. Like, I need a bottle. Give me a bottle. Any bottle will do. All right. Yeah. So see here.
There's no pictures. You need pictures.
Here, I
everywhere.
would suggest show an image of an old lady being helped to cross the street by a young boy. All right? And you become altruistic after drinking kombucha. You become a nice person. What else do we need to have?
One weightlifter.
Yeah, one weightlifter.
weightlifter.
Yeah, but
On
not
the
on the
other
same image. Because
Same image.
weightlifter needs
We
to
can do it
help.
like
This is this one. It's
this
almost
is blueberry and
looks
rose
like
water.
yeah.
Very interesting. Read the name. What does it say?
Kombucha Love Potion 66.
Okay.
Oh, then this needs like a
Whoa,
couple.
what's
or
happening here,
something.
buddy? Is this supposed to help
Yeah, so-
couples have some fun?
Yeah, absolutely. So you have to buy a whole crate, by the way, for it to be effective.
To fix your marriage? Fix your
your
marriage,
marriage.
people. Alright? Buy Kombucha Love Potion 66. Alright, bring the divorce rate down.
I can actually make it totally legit.
Yeah.
But I'll connect everything. Now the dots are given. I'll connect
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
So your gut health
Yeah.
clearly controls your mental health, because gut is considered second brain,
Yeah.
right? Now if your gut is not in proper shape, everything else gets tossed around, right? So you drink kombucha, your gut fixes. Your gut fixes, your mind fixes. You're in a better, happier mood. Okay? When you're in a happier, better mood, your relationships will always be better, right?
Shit, better to have a good relationship, guys. That's what we, a good bowel movement leads to more anniversaries.
Acha, tell me something.
It's true. I agree with you.
No,
I'm
no,
not.
I am also saying, listen to this. So tell me, if Alexander the Great,
Yeah.
okay, he is going to invade whatever the country is invading, say he's
Yeah.
coming to India,
Yeah.
and he has either constipation
Yeah.
or he can't stop shitting. Either ways.
I
right?
heard that is what happened to him. That is why he went
died.
back.
Yeah.
He died. Yeah.
Right, he died pretty much after.
Yeah.
But tell me, if that was happening, do you think him like, attack, oh wait 1 second, let me go to the toilet and come back, or oh, I can't do this. So a good sleep and a good shit is the most important start for your day, not anything else.
Okay.
Right?
If there's something I've learned in 34 years of my life, I know that's true.
That's
If I just look at the data of all the mornings I've had, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You feel like you can take on the world, right? Like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
literally,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you
abhi
do.
sab theek ho gaya.
Yeah.
Abhi kya karna hai?
I always envied my dog
Yeah.
for that very reason. My dogs generally end up having like great.
You should open one of these. I think.
I think I'm going to have the love potion 60. Don't make any inferences, you fucking subscribers. Okay, let me tell you, assholes. I'm doing this for you.
So I'll tell you the story behind Love Potion 66. Okay.
Yeah.
So people call it Love Portion
Yeah.
and everything but
love potion is heard a lot. Like, what's the 66?
So yeah. So Love Potion 66. So when we started making flavors, we were talking about it. How do we come up with flavors? So I had this big book of kombucha, and
Okay.
that was like a Bible, a reference book for all of us. And so we were doing that, and we were like, what flavors should we make? So looking up, and even if we knew what we were making, we wanted to see if something similar existed or some suggestion. So we knew where to begin, like how much ginger to begin with
Yeah.
in the
How
flavor,
much
right?
ginger
Yeah,
is
Enough ginger, or whatever the minimum ginger or whatever. Then we can play around with it, and we've done that a lot. So then it came Love Potion 99, and it had 3 ingredients. It had blueberry, it had rose, and it had lavender.
Okay.
Okay. Now practical problem that I couldn't find organic lavender.
Oh, yeah. You need to go to Denmark or some place like that.
Organic lavender नहीं मिला. मिलता है अब तो इंडिया में. You can find everything organic, है ना. नहीं भी होगा तो basically नाम तो लिखा ही होगा organic. But that was that. So we said, okay, now we can only find 2 out of 3, right? So 99 divided by 3 into 2 is 66.
Oh, that's it?
Okay.
That's it.
I thought there was more work behind this name.
Then somebody said, then we said, okay, but it's very close to 69. I'm like, yeah, but you don't want to alienate, you don't want parents.
Families.
Yeah, you don't want to alienate families and parents to be telling their children not to drink Love Potion 69 and whatever happens after. So we said, okay, let's just stick with 66. Also, it was funny at that point.
Yeah.
We said, let's just stick with it. And honestly, nobody calls it Love Potion 66 anyways. They just call it Love Potion or they call it Blueberry.
Yeah.
Also, an important lessons I learned later about marketing and branding is we came up with these really fancy names, right? So Ginger Honey was Ginger Buzzer because the honeybees buzz, right? Apricot Cinnamon was Amar Al Deen because apricot was a flavor they used to use in Ramadan and whatever in Egypt and all that.
Apricot is a sort of dry fruit.
So it's a wet fruit,
Yeah.
but you're not allowed to have wet fruit. Like Ladakh grows one of the best apricots, but you're not supposed to have any. है ना? So what they did was that so we called it Amar Al Deen, light of the world or something, right? Then we had blueberry, so we called it Love Potion. And lemon mint basil is twisted shikanji because shikanji is a Rajasthani thing which we make with lemon, right? So we thought should twist it because we don't add any sugar or anything. Plus it's a kombucha, so it's a twisted one. It's a little different one, googly. But then the problem began because people didn't really understand what the flavor really meant. Nobody took the trouble of going and reading the ingredients. They just didn't understand what it meant, right? And especially like apricot cinnamon, which was we made because it's a little sweeter bit because of apricots. So we then said, okay, enough of this. Let's start going back to the basics and calling the things as they are.
Yeah.
Because again, educating people. If you can't understand what my product is,
You won't
200 rupees ka cheese, 150 rupees, 200 rupees.
Yeah.
You will at least look at it and try to understand what exactly
What is it?
what it is, right? So isliye then we started moving back. But so now I don't want to change the name. These names have a lot of history and they're conversation starters.
Yeah.
I actually had somebody write us on the website saying, hey, I broke up with my girlfriend. Will it help? I'm like, yeah, you buy a crate, it helps.
see, allow more of that to come out, Vikram. That is what you need. Like, just promise, okay? Just promise. You don't need to fulfill the promise. It's up to him to
I
get
am
the
the
girlfriend
fulfilling
back.
my promise.
You're fulfilling yours.
You'll be happier yourself, and then you probably come out of the breakup faster than otherwise, right?
Or get a better girlfriend.
Or better girlfriend instead.
Yeah,
right?
maybe you were not meant to be, and now kombucha has just like
Kombucha starter. See, conversation starter. Now,
Yeah.
say if you go to a cafe or something and you're drinking a kombucha or somebody else is drinking a kombucha, it's a kombucha. Somebody is drinking tea. Imagine what conversation starter that's going to be. What are you drinking?
yeah, man. But if I see a girl drinking kombucha, small part of me is like, damn, dude, I don't want to risk like with her gut health. Like, damn, is there something wrong? Is something going to happen in bed? Like, what's happening?
Nobody's a conversation
I know,
starter.
of course.
It can take it anywhere, right?
Of course.
You don't want to it can go either ways in the when it goes to the bed, it can go either ways, right? So you gotta be that ways. But but look at it this way: if she's adventurous enough to try a kombucha full in the world full of sodas and colas and coffees,
What
right?
else is she up for?
What else is she
Damn,
up for?
Vikram. Now you're talking my language, buddy. Yes, exactly. This is what we need to do. All right, those old fuckers on Shark Tank don't know.
Don't know jack.
Yeah, they don't know jack, dude. Like this
You
is what.
can't take the sailor out, man.
Yeah.
It's still in there.
Once a sailor, always a sailor, right? And and we are ill famous.
Yeah.
But once you
Infamous?
hear, sailors are ill famous for all the whoring around that happens and all the drinking and that happens. Honestly, we don't even do that anymore. है ना? Because you don't get enough time on the ports. पहले तो क्या जहाज unloading used to take days and days, and people used to get drunk. कोई जहाज पे नहीं होता. Things are different, very, very super professional, very, very regulated everything. And me being on a zero alcohol ship, तो क्या ही करेगा बाहर जाके except for a bit of shopping, Lay's खरीद लिया, Doritos खरीद लिया, some cheese maybe, whatever. But that's about it, right?
Some cheese to put in, like your.
Some cheese to put. वो तो बहुत जहाज पे बहुत होता है यार. Cheese is something that when I was on a Danish ship, there was a lot of good cheese, right? All kind of like 10, 15 different kinds.
Yeah.
When I was in Indian ships, we only had like those Amul slices
Processed
and whatnot
cheese,
and whatever. But that was also okay. I mean, if you want to have like a ham, if you want to have a ham and cheese is cheese. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cheese is cheese.
Cheese is cheese. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. But I'm glad that people are actually talking about like kombucha and all that.
Yeah.
I've had the only scare that I ever had was when we just sold our first market. When I did our first market, and somebody picked up a couple of kombuchas from us, and then we wrapped up around 2.
Okay.
And we packed up everything and we were going home. And then we had to do a couple of deliveries because it was the first market and it was a vegan market and whatever. And we were not allowed to sell honey. I did not know the concept.
Okay.
Long story short, we were driving back around 4:30. And this lady calls us and says, Vikram, I can't. I've been to the toilet like 3-4 times, and is that like normal? Like this was my first farmers market. I didn't even know how to answer all these questions. I should be worried.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I had done my research, of course, and I had read a lot about. I said, see, just drink a lot of water, hydrate yourself, give kombucha a little bit of time to sort of clear your system, right? That's all it is doing, detoxing. That's what you want, right? From
exactly.
a kombucha. That's exactly what it is doing. So don't worry about it. And if there is anything, I'll check back with you anyways. Only I have a small daughter and that's why I was worried my husband's not home. I'm like, don't worry, it's going to be fine. And we prayed to God, said our prayers, and then it actually worked. And the only other time was my dad. My dad. That was my other, not scare, but I'm like, what the hell did you do?
Yeah.
He gets up at 4 in the morning, goes to the toilet, and by the time we get up at 7, he's been to the toilet like 6 times. I'm like, what happened? What did you do? You've just come. What did you eat? You didn't even eat outside because you just came yesterday and you were like, did you eat something in the train? He's like, no, I just had kombucha. I'm like, how much did you have? I don't know, maybe 6, 7. Like 6, 7 times, 6, 7 bottle. Whatever. I had those glasses and the jar is right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you serious? He wouldn't stop shitting, dude. Like really.
He overdid it.
Like crazy. Like first time around.
Yeah.
So when somebody drinks kombucha for the first time, I tell them, have it like you would have a beer, right? First time you were having a beer, you didn't drink 5, right? You did maybe half or maybe 1, right? Do that. If you're
Your dad wanted to cleanse his soul, dude. I want
Ganga
5, 6.
naha
I want complete cleanliness.
complete cleanliness. So wo hua, and we had to go to the doctor, and then he gave him like some stoppers, right? And then it was fine. But that became like a thing. And again, at that time I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Is this the end of it?
Yeah.
Does this really happen? Like,
That's a newspaper article.
only when, I swear, and only when my dad said, only when my dad said he had 6 or 7, I'm like, it's not the kombucha, it's you.
It is. You know what? That is a good bit to wrap this EP on. Is that if you come across something that helps you, just do it the prescribed way. All right. If you're ordering a crate of MAVI's kombucha, have it 1 bottle at a time. Share the first one if you want to with somebody. See how it works. Maybe chart out how you're feeling better as the time progresses, and help Vikram and his family of 3. Let me use this. Let me use this, Vikram. Let me use this. He has a dog, beautiful dog, a wonderful overqualified wife. He's already told us that, and all 3 of them would like it a lot if you just give this a shot. See if you like this, and in all probability, it is going to help you. And as he said, it all starts from the gut. So start off there.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else you would like to plug before we go off? Where can they order it from?
So you can order from our website, www.mavispantry.com. You can also just find us on Instagram at kombucha.in. Right? You can DM us. You can find our WhatsApp number there. There's a whole bunch of just message. I'm the guy who usually will handle all your queries and everything. Should be good. And after this, if you want to try a kombucha, you've never done it before, and if you get one and you don't like the kombucha, okay, or you've had before but you did not like it because it wasn't good or whatever, I have only one thing to say to you, that think of it like this as dating. If you go on a bad first date, you don't stop dating. You just find better people to date. So if you had a bad kombucha in life, and I'm very serious with this, don't laugh, you guys.
I'm not, dude. I'm
smiling and all that. Is
no, man, I'm there with you.
It's a great analogy.
If you ever have had a bad kombucha and you think kombucha is not for you, please try our product. And we would love, and if you want something specific, do Instagram me and I will try my best, like I mentioned, to help you out with a flavor that works for you and whatever. But remember, you can always try another one.
Yeah, I'm ordering Love Potion and that. I'm ordering that and the hibiscus thing, for after. That's what I'm doing. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this particular episode. If you've liked the episode, do check out MAVI's Kombucha, guys. Vikram, thanks a lot, man. Thanks for coming down. Appreciate trying the different products as well. Do follow them on Instagram and keep an eye out for new stuff. This fellow keeps on playing with all sorts of things.
Thank you so much. And right back at you.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.